Hello guys, Dan here, and in today's video I'm going to be bringing you the second subscriber Saturday. Today guys, we have quite a few questions again on gaming and also technology. So the first one is, hey Dan, can you make these Q&A videos longer? I think they're great episodes and really enjoyed the first one. Yes, I will make them longer. What I'm going to be doing is just answering 6 questions instead of 4. I know that I did get quite a few questions in the last video, so I'm going to include quite a few this time. So, hi Dan, is it worth getting a CPU upgrade to get more frames in games? I've been playing Metro Last Light and Hitman Absolution and have been getting frame rates in the high 30s, low 40s. I'm not sure whether to upgrade my CPU or GPU and was wanting your guidance as you seem to know your stuff. Cheers. I will say Hitman Absolution and also Metro Last Light, they are kind of demanding games, and if you would watch my top 10 demanding games on my channel, you would see that with them games you do need a lot of kind of CPU juice. So if you do have kind of shall I say a dual core AMD or something like a quad core AMD, or maybe you only have like an i5 or maybe an i3 processor, an upgrade might be the way to go. But I will kind of say that them two games that you've pointed out, Metro Last Light and Hitman Absolution, they are CPU heavy games, so upgrading your CPU might be the way to go. But if you have something like an i5, you know, a high range kind of i5 or maybe an i7, it might be a GPU upgrade that you might need to do. But without kind of telling me your specs of your system, I can't really kind of give you as much guidance as you might have wanted. Now next question, hi Dan, I was looking to buy a newer GTX 760 for my system, but I don't know what type of cooler to go with. I've been looking at the different ones, but the reference designs seem so cheap. Are they slower or just louder? From my personal experience having a reference design 760 back before I upgraded to a 770, it was a little bit louder, and because it only has one blower style fan, the disadvantages that I kind of saw is that it is a little bit louder. You can't overclock as far, and yeah, with it only having one fan, it does typically run a little bit hotter. So if you were wanting to do overclocking and stuff like that, I would recommend you getting you know, on a non-reference design card, and that would typically allow you to have 2 fans, have better overclocking and have better temps, as well as it being a little bit kind of quieter as well. But yeah, I will say that typically they can be a little bit slower and louder just because of reference designs, yes. Next question, hey Dan, just wanting to know what games you're looking forward to the most. Games I'm looking forward to. Now, in terms of sequels, I'm really looking forward to Far Cry 4 and also Fallout 4. We haven't heard no kind of information on Fallout 4, but it might come this year, might be next year, or who knows, it could even be in 3 years, who really knows. But Fallout 4 is one game that I'm really looking forward to. In terms of games that have been confirmed, I've been looking at The Sims 4, that looks really good. We've also got The Crew, which is a new racing game. I kind of feel Need for Speed has kind of died now, and with me always going back to Need for Speed The Run, yeah, the new Need for Speed they're creating, it might not get that, and maybe The Crew is the new kind of arcade racing game that I've kind of been looking for. Now, as well as this, I'm not looking forward to Battlefield Hardline, won't be kind of picking that up. So, you know, what's going to be the next first-person shooter that's going to be, you know, rivaling with the COD and also the Battlefield kind of franchises? I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know. So I am quite a big fan of first-person shooters, and it's something that I really do enjoy, and I do play a lot of Battlefield 4, so yeah, I'll kind of keep it there. Now the next question, hello Dan the Man, what is your current gaming PC specs? It seems you have a, what is that, beefy enough system to play most games and also record at the same time. Now, I will kind of stress you don't need, you know, a powerful system to record games, because if you use programs like OBS like I use, you can actually use the encoder chips on your graphics card to record. And I know a lot of you guys know that, you know, fraps exists and that you can record games with fraps, and your frame rates do kind of, you know, decrease when recording with fraps. But if you're using something like OBS or even the new shadow play feature, which is on the NVIDIA cards, you don't see no performance hit while recording. So maybe if you're wanting to kind of upgrade your system and get, you know, an AMD card or a new NVIDIA card, you typically do not need a beefy system to record at the same time. But in terms of my specs, I'll just have a video like here. You can kind of click on that, and yeah, you kind of see the specs of my system. I did kind of a gaming setup tour of kind of a desk and stuff like that, so if you guys want to check that out, you can do. But essentially it's a GTX 770, 8GB RAM and an i5 processor, as simple as that. So next question, hi, I have an 8GB of RAM in my system and was wondering if I should upgrade to 16 gigs. I play games at 1440p on my new monitor, but I don't know if the added RAM would help me out. I also don't edit video or photos or anything, but I do play games at high resolution, so thought I might as well ask. I must say that having more system RAM doesn't exactly help with video games, but I will say having more video RAM on your graphic card will do, and that's something that will be typically better to have if you play at high resolutions. The main problem now is that with graphic cards and people wanting to play at high resolutions like you do at 1440p and also 4K, you do need more video RAM, and the reasons that most graphic cards these days don't play games very well at 4K is because they don't have enough frame buffer to work properly. So if you're looking to play games at 1440p, no, don't upgrade from 8GB of RAM, that won't help, but maybe to get a newer graphic card like a 780 Ti with maybe 3 or 6 gigs of video RAM, that will definitely help. I know that a lot of people these days are saying that you do need more than 2 gigs of RAM for 1080p games, and that's why a lot of people these days are going for 780s and stuff like that. Plus I will say a lot of the AMD cards do have 3 gigs of RAM, while a lot of the Nvidia cards do have 2 gigs of RAM. And you know, maybe Nvidia do need to kind of step up the game, but if you are looking for a graphic card with 3 gigs of RAM, I would probably, you know, recommend to go with AMD just because of the extra kind of frame buffer that you get. Now last question. Hi Dan the Man, I have a standard size case but was wanting to install a cheap closed loop liquid cooler. So I can render videos and that it all stays nice and cool. I was wondering what liquid cooler you would suggest for me to get. I'm not too fussed about the price or the noise. If you've got a standard kind of case and you're not sure what liquid coolers can fit in your case, I would recommend something like a Corsair H8Ti. They're typically, well, should I say they'll typically fit in any case that you've got, and because they only take up one 120mm slot, you can near enough always put this in the back of your case where the exhaust fan is. So you would take the exhaust fan out and then you'd put that cooler there. I think the H8Ti comes with 2 fans, so there's 1 fan on each side of the radiator, so you get typically kind of better performance with that. In terms of noise levels of a H8Ti, I'm not too sure, but I do know that you can change the performance settings, so from like, you know, high fan profiles to medium, and also kind of, you know, a low quiet one. Anyway guys, that's been the end of this kind of series of Subscriber Saturday. If you guys are enjoying it, please, you know, click that good old like button, and if you have any kind of questions or, you know, comments that you want me to answer in the next series, please put them in the comment section below, and yeah, I'll be getting back to you in the next video. Anyway guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye.